This is my Unit 5 multimedia response by Terry Williamson for FED 500 for Alabama A&M University. Question set number 1. What should the purpose of education be in American society in the 21st century? Well, the purpose of education should be to prepare students for a life of achievement. Students should gain knowledge about things that will help them in the future. Society and schools should also be educating children to be productive citizens and to be responsible for maintaining our society. Overall, this would help our society to maintain stability and to last if we have a true purpose for our students. Question 2. What is the relationship between educational goals and education objectives? Well, educational goals are broad statements that can be applied to education in general. They're, in a sense, kind of like a target that educators are trying to reach. Educational objectives would be the tools that are used in order for us as educators to reach our goals and to help our students obtain the goals that the state sets and that the federal government sets for the students as standards, kind of like Common Core objectives. Question 3. How have educational goals shifted throughout American history since the end of the 19th century, and why? Well, the purpose of education in the early 1900s, education sought to aid students in developing the individuals that would contribute to society, basically, in some way. So they were taught basic skills, math, reading, grammar. In the mid-1900s, there was a shift in education. Education sought to teach students to think critically with the need to develop moral character. The intention of teaching the students character traits was inspired by the idea that students would be less likely to use their intelligence for crime because character education encourages students to lead a life that contributes progress as opposed to problems for society. And problem students who grew into being problems in society would lead to, the need for more jails and more places to house people that create the problems that would keep society from functioning properly. So the thought was educate the students well, make them bright and talented, but also give them morals to give them a sense of direction. In the late 1900s, education sought to prepare students for careers to help them contribute to society and the economy. The belief that preparing students to be ready to work was connected to the idea that a good workforce would create a stable economy and better quality of living for the nation's inhabitants. Question set 2. How do local, state, and federal governments influence education? Well, at the local level, school boards set general rules, hire employees, control money for district, establish the students' rights, develop curriculum and assessments. The superintendents are at the local level as well, and they gather and present data to the school board, which aids them in making their decisions. The superintendents also handle the administrative management and supervise the teachers, principals, and other school staff. At the state level, the governor and state legislature make the state educational budget, appoint or remove personnel at the state level as needed if changes need to be made to bring about the desired results in the education system, maybe replacing some of the personnel to make that happen. They appoint members of the State Board of Education, and at the state level the taxes are also controlled so that the money is controlled as to what school systems it is sent to and how it's sent to those different school systems and what level of a cut of the taxes each system gets based upon maybe school size or school enrollment or the number of schools within a school system. At the Federal Education Agency, the U.S. Department of Education, they're in charge of just education at the highest level to administer, the test and things that maybe sit down to school systems and how textbooks and materials are chosen, and even, the development of Common Core objectives. It engages in educational innovation and research, which is intended to help teachers and school systems to reach more of their students and to effectively engage them in instruction through professional development opportunities. It additionally provides leadership and consultation services so that the administration can take more effective steps in reaching the community, who are the stakeholders that can affect the growth and progress of a school by choosing to keep their students enrolled in that school. Question 3, why have many school districts consolidated, and what are the strengths and weaknesses of such consolidations? Well, the strengths, it provides larger student body, more classes can be offered. They're able to hire more specialty teachers, teachers that may be able to teach things like band, art, and at some schools, archery. More clubs and organizations can be provided, more opportunity for sports, various sports teams. A higher student ratio makes it to where they're able to generate more money because they can apply and get more money through the state and federal government based upon their student ratio in order to balance out, for instance, teacher units, to be able to make sure that there's enough teachers there to teach all of the students to keep the ratio at a more balanced level. The weaknesses, there's less of a focus on the individual student, so students can often feel like they're not getting the attention that they really need in order to learn and master the content that the teachers are covering. When consolidation happens, smaller schools are sometimes closed, which does impact the community that the school is in. In many cases, a closing school can sometimes drive, parents to leave because just the inconvenience of having to travel and drive to another area to get their child there, as opposed to just moving to that area and being able to have a shorter commute to get their child to and from school. So it often displaces students and creates a greater travel time if that does happen and a school does close. Students may find themselves riding a bus for an hour or maybe a little longer than an hour in order to get to and from school in the mornings and in the evenings. When schools close, like I said, it hurts the community, which can cause people to move away, which in turn causes businesses to lose customers, and which causes communities to eventually die because there's not enough reason for people to want to live there. Question 5, how has the federal role in education changed over the years? In the early stages of education in the United States, the federal government left education up to the state and local government of the school. Over the years, the federal government has increased the role it plays in public education. Federal agencies have been established to aid in education. More federal funds are going to public schools, and the state and local governments have more involvement, But there's a shift, and the federal government is gaining more power in the education system because of their investment, because of the money that's being spent in the school systems. This is my reference page. I hope that my presentation was informative and that you gained some insights about these questions related to education. Thank you.